For Ford, this is a pretty revolutionary vehicle. Of course, originally, they were going to sell these things for set under 20 grand. He paid 29 for this, but it's loaded. It's got the optional engine. He has the 2-liter regular engine. He didn't get the hybrid. My advice, I would go with the regular engine, because hybrids, as they age, they can cost a fortune. And if these things do hold true, like regular Fords, F-150s, Rangers, and they go 10, 15, 20 years, you really don't want to have a 20-year-old hybrid that's going to cost you a fortune. This doesn't have the expensive hybrid battery. It doesn't have all that technology. What it does have is a 2-liter EcoBoost engine. It's a 4-cylinder inline. You can see it's got gasoline direct injection on it, and it's got a turbocharger on it. But this is pretty tri-technology now, 2022. You paid extra for this. It's an option. If you get the standard one, it comes with a 2.5-liter Atkinson engine, which is a more complex engine. And from my experience, nobody knows how to work on them. And if you blow a head gasket, it costs a fortune, where on these, they're just plain old engines. And any mechanic that knows how to work on them can work on these things. That's pretty much what people want a Ford for. A Ford that they can get fixed when they need to, wherever, and not have to worry about, geez, nobody knows how to work on these things that cost a fortune. You're better with the simpler system, the non-hybrid system. Now, it's not like this is a gas hog. He's getting about 25 miles a gallon driving it around town. And understand one thing, this is radical for Ford, because this is a front-wheel drive pickup truck. It is not rear-wheel drive like an F-150. Front-wheel drives are inherently more efficient, and since the engine and the transmission is in the front, and so are the drive wheels, you can generally get away without having to buy snow tires in the winter. If you live in some really wacko place, Alaska or northern Minnesota, you probably want to put snow tires on the front. But the front is pulling. It's much more efficient to pull a vehicle than it is to push a vehicle. You know, the old pickup trucks, those back wheels would spin like mad, slide all over, because what's in the back? There's no weight. In this case, all the weight, the engine and the transmission, is on the drive wheels. And a soldier who owns this says it's one of the best driving vehicles they ever got. I've driven them. We're going to take this one for a ride in a few minutes, but they do handle much better being front wheel drive. And since it's not a full frame truck, this wasn't meant to tow tons and to carry 8 tons of stuff. It's meant for a regular little drive and pickup. The unibody construction, of course, weighs less. There's no frame, so it has a tendency of handling better. It rides more like a car than like a truck because of that design. Now, these Tacomas, like my son's old Tacoma, hey, they can run forever, but they ride like trucks. They don't ride all that well. It's got a full frame on it. I mean, this Ford Maverick is pretty much a car truck. It's more drivable. And of course, because of its size, it's a relatively short bed, but it's still got a nice bed on it. You can still fit a lot of stuff in there. Tow hook on the back. Now, it can tow 4,000 pounds, and you can put 1,500 pounds in the back. So, it can do work. You know, it's not an F-150 for hauling monster-sized things, but for a little truck, it does generally what it was designed for. I like the gray color, but unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about where they make them, because these are all made in Mexico. As we look around, they're not really telling you that. Believe me, they're all put together in Mexico. They get to be kind of stinky. You got to decipher the VIN to figure out exactly, but all of these are made in Mexico. Kind of sleazy though that they don't say. It just says Ford Motor Company. It doesn't tell you. They should have to say on the sticker, if you ask me. That kind of reminds me of my Triumph motorcycle, right? The English motorcycle. Well, I bought one. It's a late model one, right? And they got British flags on everything. And then I'm like, I wonder where this was made. Doesn't say anything. It just says Triumph, Great Britain. Well, when you decipher the VIN, it turns out it was made in Thailand. Actually, though, the Thais do better work than the British do, so it worked out better. It's never had any problems, right? It's a modern one. It's not an old-fashioned one. But they should at least say where they're made, you know, not try to pretend. These are all made in Mexico. They make a lot of cars down in Mexico for Ford because the labor's cheaper. Just realize a lot of the parts come from the United States, and in the case of this Maverick, these particular 2-liter engines haven't had any real problems, unlike some of the Broncos, where they made the V6 engines wrong and they were eating valves, and they have to replace them on cars that have 15,000 miles. Not that many miles. Now, they got to replace them under warranty, but could you imagine if you had bought one and the engine went out that fast? These 2-liter ones, that's why I advise people to get the 2-liter. The 2-liter ones are regular engines. They're not Atkinson cycle engines. It's not a hybrid setup. If you get the standard one, It's an Atkinson cycle hybrid. Extremely complex things that a lot of guys do not know how to work on. This is the one, if you're going to be somewhere and keep it for years, we want guys that around you can fix the things. They can fix these a lot easier than they can fix the hybrids and the Atkinson engines. I've had so many people with Atkinson engines of various manufacturers. Toyota makes them too. When they break, nobody will fix them. Or the dealer will say things like, well, it needs a head gasket and that's going to be $5,000. Well, $5,000 for a head gasket is kind of ridiculous because the head gasket is less than 100 bucks. You're better with paying extra for this 2-liter turbo engine than you are buying the Atkinson hybrid one, which is the standard one, which costs less. Compact in the front, but hey, the back seat actually has quite a bit of room. You got a tach, temperature gauge, fuel gauge, and speedometer. You got all kinds of controls on your steering wheel. Now it doesn't have a sunroof. I hate those things anyway. I find them annoying. Nice size glove box. Controls easy to access. All the controls have pictures on them, so it's easy to tell. You want head, you want feet, it's right there. Safety features. Ford calls it Copilot 360. You're ready to hit somebody, automatically brakes. There's all kinds of technology involved in these things. Sure, it is a compact truck on a lower line, but it's kind of surprising the stuff that it has for the price that you get. Like I said, he bought the fancier one here, and he paid like $29,000 for it. Originally, they were supposed to sell them for $20,000, but that's the basic one. This isn't the basic one. This is the fancier one. In that price range, you're still well below. The average car in the United States these days is pushing 50 G's. So for 29, we'll see what you get when we take it for a ride. Now the owner doesn't care about the electric shifting, neither do I, or the electric parking brake. I don't go for that crap either. But, I mean, that's just how things are these days. Everything's computerized. The standard wheels, but they look nice. These engines are a little bit noisy. That's because they're GDI. A lot of times they make a little bit more noise than the normal vehicle does. You don't hear it in the vehicle, but you certainly hear it down here. So let's take it for a spin. I do like the look. It's got a nice headlight setup on it. It's got a nice backup camera, I gotta say. We need it here. We got the cement lions. People are knocking them over all the time. Now as you ride around, it's a nice compact truck. It's got nice height to it. It's not outrageously high, but got a nice height to it. But like I said, in a regular pickup truck, I'd be worrying about sliding all over the place in the rain. This thing handles quite well. And you got front wheel drive, and this unibody construction, lighter weight. It really handles more like a car than a truck. And that's all down to the front wheel drive, really. And for a pickup truck, hey, it's pretty quiet. I always worried about Mexican quality when they put them together, but really, in this thing, I don't hear any rattles yet. We get going to our little drag strip here. You can see it says Sport there. So here we are at our little drag strip, and there's nobody behind us, so we can stop. And ready, set, go! It's spinning those tires! Hey! I'm impressed! That's another reason that I tell people you'd probably like the 2-liter better, because it's actually got quite a bit better acceleration. It's more fun to drive. And like I said, just driving around town, he's still getting 25 miles a gallon. And for a truck, that's good gas mileage. Now, you might wonder why the wheels were spinning. Well, we put it in sport mode and turn off the traction control, so it's more fun to drive. You want to have fun? If you're into safety, leave it on. You lose a little bit of acceleration, but this isn't like the Shelby Cobra that I had years ago that was total insanity when you put it in drag strip mode, which you're only supposed to do on a drag strip, and not in the city, but of course everybody does. For a little truck, hey, it's got plenty of passing zip. Look at that, no problem at all. Now, he does agree with me. He doesn't like the start-stop function. You can turn it off if you want every time that you come to a stop. I don't particularly like that technology because when you start your car, 90-something% of the wear occurs during startup. Do you really want to keep starting and stopping your car? Starting and stopping your car. They can BS all they want about saying, we put stronger rods in it and stronger this, that. Baloney. The batteries wear out faster. The starters wear out faster. So really, if you want your car to last, just make it a habit every time you get in it. Turn the start-stop option off. Just push it so it doesn't come on. You got to do it every time you start the car, but really, your car will thank you for it. It'll last longer. And yeah, the tiny bit of gas that you save, hey, you know how much money an engine costs? thousands and thousands of gallons of gasoline. That's what it costs. Now I rolled the window down, get a little air in. It's not too noisy. And like I say, this thing really handles quite well. I gotta say, it's interesting. Not shaking at all. It is a smooth running vehicle. Now, when they first made them in Mexico, they were in a real rush because they were behind schedule. And the early ones, there were like 7 recalls, which isn't that much. Take the Explorers. When they first came out, there were like 17 recalls the first year. Now, obvious ones you would tell. They don't have it on this one, but some of the earlier ones, you smell gasoline, because when they put the liners in the back, they drilled holes into the gas tanks and made a hole in the gas tank. You would smell it. They had to fix all of those, right? And they had recalls for software issues and normal stuff. But unlike the Broncos, with those V6 engines that are exploding because the valves are wrong, they haven't had engine problems with these. Now, like I say, I like the 2-liter because it's a simpler engine. I'm not a fan of either hybrids or Atkinson engines. Yes, they're efficient. They get good gas mileage. At that level of complexity, if you're the type of person who often buys Ford pickups, you want them to last 10, 15, 20 years or more, hundreds of thousands of miles. The hybrids and the Atkinson cycle engines are prohibitively expensive to fix when they do break down. This one isn't. This is a plain engine, just a 4-cylinder inline 2-liter engine. So it's a lot easier to work on. They have less problems in the long run, and you don't have to deal with a very expensive hybrid battery. It's just got a normal battery in it. So really, if you're thinking about buying one of these, I'd say pay the extra and get an XLT. The standard ones with the hybrid and the Atkinson cycle engines, yeah, they get a little bit better gas mileage, but at what cost? Well, the same size inside, and you can see there's decent room in the back for a family. And sure, Ford originally touted they're going to make a pickup truck for under 20. Well, this one was still under 30 with all the options on it. So, hey, it's not that bad when you compare what's out there, what you're going to pay for other vehicles. You get a front-wheel drive pickup truck that really has a nice ride to it. It's a radical change for Ford, having a front-wheel drive pickup. And I gotta say, in terms of how it rides, they hit the nail on the head with this. It really does ride well. It rides much more like a car than like a truck. Gotta change the oil every 5,000 miles with full synthetic oil. You gotta take care of it. Turbos need to be lubricated. They use the same oil. Make sure you change your oil every 5,000 miles, and they can last a long time. You can't treat it like an old V8 Ford where you're gonna be, oh, well, I'll change the oil every 10,000 miles. It's a V8, it'll just keep going. No, you gotta take more care of these engines, but considering the much better gas mileage they get and the better ride, you might be happy if you're looking for a small pickup truck. Chevy Trailblazer. So let's start out with thinking, okay, it's a Chevy SUV. Well, wait a second. Look, it's actually a Korean car. It's made by GM Korea, made in Korea because it's got a K for the first VIN number. Now, he bought it used with 15,000 miles for $16,500. Not a bad idea when you consider you get a nice little SUV for that amount of money. This is why this guy's smart. He's like me. Buy a nice used one. Why pay for the new one? It looks like a new one. It's low mileage. Plus, he's in New York. Garbage trucks might hit it. Who knows what's going to happen, right? Now, it is basically a Korean car. And when we look under the hood, you'll see something I'm not a big fan of. That is a little 1.3 liter. It's got a turbo, it's got a GDI. Well, everybody's going smaller right now. It is, for Americans, a small SUV. Driving it over here from New York, he was getting 41 miles a gallon. So for an SUV that's all-wheel drive, it's really good gas mileage. It's not a hybrid. Now, he does take care of his vehicles, because I told him, I said, make sure you change the oil filter every 5,000 miles. He changes it every 3,000 miles. So if he takes care of this thing, he's not pulling heavy loads, he's not driving like a lunatic, time will show if this thing is gonna hold up. Now, you're actually better getting the all-wheel drive version, whether you want all-wheel drive or not. Might sound stupid, but if you get the front-wheel drive, you get one of those stinking CVT transmissions, see? If you get the all-wheel drive, it is an actual 9-speed automatic transmission, a real transmission with gears. Normally I'd say, hey, don't get all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive unless you absolutely need it, but in this case you're better off because you're getting a real automatic transmission, and that is a big plus, because really, if you've ever driven it, a turbo little engine that's hooked up to a CVT transmission, when you floor it, it generally goes, and it doesn't go that fast. This has 9 speeds, and it's not bad at all. You might not know any of this when you buy a car. Hey, this is why I make these videos. You can learn, because let's say you went out and bought one with the CVT that was front wheel drive. Wears out when it's older, and you're like, I should have never bought that thing. Well, I would have said in the beginning, get the all-wheel drive version. Look, the money isn't that different. He got this thing for $16,500 because he bought it used. You can save a lot of money. There's always a reason for people to get rid of cars. This doesn't look like it has any problems. I'm going to put my machine on and check it out for him. But you can always find some decent used cars that are in good shape, and they're always going to go for less than the new ones. Plus, he bought an extended warranty. Normally, I'm not a big extended warranty fan, but it is a Korean 1.3 liter little engine turbo GDI. Smart thing to buy a warranty. And he says when that warranty goes out, he's going to buy another warranty, as long as it's going to cover the engine and transmission. In this case, I'd say that's a smart thing to do. Right? Like if somebody's dumb enough to buy a Jaguar, I'd say you gotta buy the warranty on it, because if you don't, it's gonna bankrupt you. I mean, I'll give it one thing, with this tiny engine, boy, it's certainly gonna be easy to work on when it breaks. There's all kinds of working room on the thing. So let's look inside, and hey, it's got a really nice looking interior, comfy bucket seats. Let's walk around. I mean, it's a beautiful looking car, I'll give it that. Let's check out the back seat. And look, this seat's back. There is a lot of room back here. These back seats are comfortable. Got a nice armrest with cup holders. Little trunk in the back. And of course, when you flip the seats down, you can carry quite a bit of stuff inside here. And as we close the door, sounds like the Koreans built it pretty solid. Okay, it's got beautiful rims. I mean, check them out. So let's get the fancy computer out and see if you got to take it for a ride or not. So here we go, it's plugged in. You can see it's already detected the vehicle. Do a standalone diagnostics. It's already read the VIN, so now it's going to decode it. It is a 1.3 liter. We can do a full topology scan, so that's what we're going to do. Now it's only got 30-something thousand miles on it. And while it's doing its scan, it's rather well set up. It's a nice looking little car inside. Now it doesn't have a sunroof. Great, I hate them. They just leak as time goes on. Right, it does have a real automatic transmission. Now it's got what I hate, electronic parking brake, but they all have that now. See, you can turn traction control off, lane assist. Got no trouble codes at all. He'll be happy to hear that. So let's start this baby up. And realize even though it's getting 41 miles down the highway, it's not a hybrid, it's a conventional gasoline engine, so a lot simpler. So let's look at some serious information. Engine control module. Remember, black is good, red's bad. Let's see how this shapes up. It's good and good gas mileage. He says it's running fine, but you never know when you buy a used car. Look at all the different data you can look at, but we're going to look at all of them. Okay, 5-volt reference, almost perfect. 5.01 volts, both of them, so that's working perfectly fine. Shows you the AC system's working fine, the pressure. You get a lot of data on these modern cars. See, everything's black good so far. We'll look at some of the information to analyze it. The immobilizer information, so people can't steal it. Now we can see the short-term fuel trim is moving around a little. Here we go. The short-term fuel trim is -1 or 0. Of course, 0 is perfect, so it's pretty close to perfect, which I should expect. It's only got 30,000 miles on it. I mean, an awful lot. You can see all the 5-volt reference, 5.01. That's almost perfect. It's only off what? 1/100th, so that's absolutely nothing. We're still in the A's, baby. You want to laugh? Just watch this. La, la, la. Look at the data. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's a good thing these things are automated, baby, because analyzing all of this stuff. You think the German cars used to be complicated? Hey, they all are now. This is all new data. Look, we're going. This is even more than any German car I've ever seen. Look at the data stream. Finally, we get to the end. Talking about the turbocharger. Showing that, yes, a turbocharged GDI injected car is very complex. I hope that they build these right. No, I haven't seen a particular problem with them yet, but it is a 1.3 liter turbo GDI. You got to keep that oil clean and don't overheat the engine. So here we go for the road test. You can see it's got a decent backup camera. You know, nothing outrageous. It's a discounted car. It's a little economy car, but you can see quite well. Doesn't have all those fancy views and everything. You can put that in, you can take it away, and it curves like the other ones. It does a pretty good job. It shows I'm not going to hit the tree that's behind me. 1.3 liter engine. Doesn't shake at all. It's well balanced. We'll go over the big water hump here. See how it does there? No problem. It's relatively high up in the air, so it's not going to drag anything. And here we go on the worst roads in the nation, Rhode Island. We'll see how it rides. It's a small wheelbase. It's not going to be a totally cushy ride, but it absorbs the bumps fine. It's probably 50% smoother than our Toyota Matrix, but then again, the Toyota Matrix is 18 years old, and this is only 3 years old. So here we come up to the big road. We'll see how this little 1.3 liter turbo goes. Granted, it does have a 9-speed automatic transmission. That's a lot of gears. Nobody to the left, everybody to the right. Here we go. Give it some gas. Not race car speed. Very smooth shifts, and you know, we got going 50 miles an hour pretty quick. So it's an automatic transmission, 9-speed, and not a CVT. You step on the gas, it goes into passing gear and it takes off. It doesn't just go and not go anywhere. Here you go, down by the ocean here. Handle's nice. Now you hear a lot of noise because he's got a lot of stuff that's rattling. That's not the car. That's just drinks with ice and stuff in it. The car's actually relatively quiet. And as we take this corner a little fast, nice handling vehicle. I always like these little SUVs. It's kind of the size of my wife's Matrix. And it's fun to drive around. No problem going uphill. Hey, pretty zippy uphill for a little 1.3 liter. Super comfy. I'm really fitting in it nicely. I wouldn't think twice about driving this car to Tennessee. It's just a nice little riding car. Hey, he's getting 41 miles a gallon on a highway. Okay, so what do I think about this Trailblazer? Well, small SUV, right? And if you know anything about General Motors, they were never really that good at making small cars. Chevy Vega, for one example amongst many. But this is a Korean car. It's not made in the United States. The Koreans have been making small cars for quite some time. Now, like I said, I'm not a fan of GDI turbos. I would advise buying an extended warranty from a company that you do a little research, find out that they actually will pay out when there's problems. Because if that little 1.3 liter engine with that highly complex 9-speed automatic transmission broke, it's going to cost you a fortune. So you would want those things covered. Now, you may not know it, but Toyota Crown is their longest produced cars. They started making these things in 1955. My sister had one that was a 70. The problem was they were too slow for the American market. They pulled out, and then they started making Corollas and all that stuff. But they decided to bring them back. Now, this is a sedan. They do make an SUV now that they're probably going to push more of the SUVs out. But the reason that they stopped making Avalons was because they cost more than a Camry, and yeah, they were a little bit more fancy, a little bit better suspension, a little bit quicker, but they were still basically a fancy Camry for a really high price. And that's the only downside about the Crown. He got this thing for only $34. And you might think, how did he get it for $34? Well, it was a demo. It had a few thousand miles on it. And so he got a better price. The problem is, if you can get a brand new Camry, I had a guy down the road here, he got a brand new Camry for 30 grand, gets 51 miles a gallon. They're all hybrids, right? The Crowns, you're talking about close to 10 grand and more up. They cost more, but hey, he got his used for almost the same price as a new Camry, and that's the bottom end Camry too, not a loaded Camry. The loaded Camrys cost more than that. The loaded Camrys are going to cost you 35 or more for brand new ones. So, hey, you know, one that's a demo, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. Now, what do you get with this compared to, say, the old Avalons? Well, the Avalons, they were known for the V6 engines. Well, these only come in the United States in one setup, and that's a hybrid, but it's a decent sized hybrid. This is a 2.5 liter, and it's got the hybrid, that's the high electricity orange part, with an eCVT. A Camry will get 51 miles a gallon in town, the hybrid ones, all-wheel drive. This is also all-wheel drive. This will get in the 30s. It's not going to get that high. That's what he's getting on it. He said, at least that's what he gets. He said his wife gets a few miles worse because she's hot on the accelerator pedal, but that's the way it goes, right? As I've explained before, the eCVT isn't like a regular CVT. It's an electronic CVT. It doesn't have drums and belts and pulleys. And Toyota's been making these things in the Priuses for so long, they got it down pat, that they generally last for hundreds of thousands of miles, pretty much trouble-free. It's not something that you got to think, oh, gee, that thing's going to break down on me. It's going to cost me a fortune. That's not something that generally happens till they get 250, 300, 400,000 miles. So it's a pretty dependable base that it's built on with a bigger engine because they realized people wanted to have the torque and the horsepower for acceleration. This is a non-turbocharged 2.5 liter with the hybrid system. So in some configurations, it gets over 300 horsepower. The electric motor torque is instant. So they've got nice acceleration, smooth driving, unlike a Turbo 4 that is a little rough in the beginning. And then when you take off, it starts revving up when the turbo kicks in. It's going to wear out faster. It's not the same driving experience as the torque you're going to get from a hybrid system. Of course, they originally made the hybrids for phenomenal gas mileage in the Prius. But interestingly enough, in a car like this, it also gives it a very good boost because this isn't the tiny engine that's in the Prius. This is a decent sized engine. And you add the electric boost, they got a lot of power. And sure, with a bigger engine, you're not going to get 51 miles a gallon, but you're still going to get in the 30s, which for a luxury car is pretty good gas mileage. Now it's got a beautiful style, and I like it. Finally, they're starting to shrink those giant mouths in the front to a usable size. It's looking more and more like a car, you know, and it's got the evil shark eye that everybody's going for. Beautiful wheels. I mean, all around, it's a sharp looking car. Now, I know a lot of people don't want sedans. A bunch of people are going to start going for the SUV version of these. Check the inside out. Nice trim. I like the combination of the faux leather and the cloth. It looks good, but it's comfy and warm. I'll start her off. Of course, they're all push button starts. Now you're not going to hear anything because, of course, it's a hybrid car. It's running on a battery now. Eventually, hey, it'll turn the motor on. Now, as you can see, it's got the speed limit sign. It's 25 here in the subdivision. It's got a nice setup. Well, we'll have to turn that off. Unlike some of the other ones, there goes the motor because it's cold out. Unlike the other ones, this is integrated into the dash. This isn't one of those ugly Toyotas stick up in the air, look stupid like somebody glued it on. All right, and as you can see, wireless charging system on it. It's got all the bells and whistles. Now, of course, it's got the regular park and ride, but it also has EV mode. Now, in this setup, the EV mode, you can drive up to 25 miles an hour for a limited range in EV only. But if you get the SUV version of this, the newer one, you can go up to 56 miles because it's the same system on the SUV version as the Toyota Prius Prime. And I have customers with them, and they've gone 55 miles, including highway speeds, on electricity alone. This one isn't really made for electricity alone. You can, if you want to cruise around the neighborhood going 24 miles an hour, but you can't drive it far or at higher speeds. It's not made for that. Look around. It's got automatic headlights. It's got intelligent cruise control. It's a fully set up car. And I like the smaller steering wheel. It's a beautiful black with the Toyota chrome. It's really set up nice. Check it out. It doesn't have a sunroof. I personally think sunroofs are one of the dumbest things ever invented. They leak, they make it hot when it's open, they make noise when they get old. Hey, who needs a stinking sunroof? I don't. And if you think about it, real luxury cars, they don't have sunroofs on them. It's got a decent little glove box, nice armrest, all kinds of storage, the traction control off if you want. Pretty well set up vehicle. And of course, it has phenomenal range. It says he's got 430 miles left. It has a full range of 609 miles in the city and like 590 on the highway because, of course, it's a hybrid, regenerate. You get better fuel economy and stop and go traffic in a hybrid than you do on the highway where it's just going full speed all the time and mainly just using the gasoline motor and, of course, not regenerating energy because you're just driving down. You're not stopping and going and regenerating power. Now, as we go in the back seat, you have these nice, comfy seats. I like cloth seats because they're comfortable, warmer in the winter, cooler in the summer, power takeoffs, heating, air conditioning. Let's listen to the door. One solid car, nice little reading lamps if you want them. Futuristic headrests, those are cool too. Let's check out the trunk. It won't let us open it because the car's running. I'll turn it off. Go back to the back. It's got a nice giant trunk. Lots of space. Classic luxury car. Solid build. So let's take it for a spin. Now before we take off, he also looked at the premium edition, but there were two things he didn't like. One was it was over 50 grand and it was the turbo version. His family stays away from turbos. They're smart like me. They're not going to go buy something that's going to wear out faster. And you can mess with the drive modes, of course, like anything. We'll put it in sport. All right, really nice wide-angled backup camera. Check it out. You can really see. I won't hit the lions now, but I always look sideways, and it's a good thing I did, because somebody's flying down the hill. It warned us though. First thing you notice, smooth as can be, of course, because now it's in electric mode. But it's a cold day, so soon it'll turn the engine on. There it goes. Hey, you saw how seamless it was turning the engine on. The old ones used to rumble and shake when they turned the engine on and off. They got this down pat, doesn't shake at all. Nice quiet ride, even when the engine's running. Nice handling car. Now he's also got a Lexus IS350, and he says this is smoother than the Lexus. Of course, it's not a sports car like the Lexus. Yeah, it is nice and quiet. Look, it's even warning us. There's a stop sign, so you can't say I didn't see the stop sign. It's telling you the speed limit and that there's a stop sign there. There we go down Tobacco Road. My brain's getting a little slow here. It's cold. I haven't warmed up yet. Let's see what this little hybrid can do. On your mark, get set, go. Whoa! Hey, nice. Now it doesn't shift gears because it's a CVT, but hey, pretty good acceleration. Nice, smooth ride. Now say you got to pass something. Okay, we're going 40. We'll floor it. Goes up pretty quick. Plenty of acceleration. At the same time, unlike the premium version, it's not a turbo. Now it's warning me because I got close to the white line. Now, personally, that would drive me nuts. I would turn that off. You can, there's a button down there. Because my wife would be hearing it and screaming at me, watch the road, watch the road. So you can turn that off if you don't want to. Let's see if it rumbles much. I'll go to the left a little. It didn't rumble there because it's a dotted yellow line. All right, let's find a solid line and we'll see if it rumbles. One's coming up. Well, there's somebody in the road too. That wouldn't be too smart of a move. It's a solid line. It didn't rumble. It should have rumbled. Oh, here's a double yellow line. Let's try that. Okay, it rumbled for the double yellow line. Well, I think it should rumble for the single yellow line too, but at least it rumbled. We'll see how it does in the curve up here. Shouldn't really have any problems. It's even warning you with an orange that you're supposed to slow down, but we're not slowing down. We want to see how it goes. Oh, it handles great. Even without slowing down, we'll speed up instead. Whee! I can see why people would spend the extra money to get one. It's a bit more fun to drive than a Camry is. Now, is it worth $15,000 or $20,000 more if you got the premium edition? I don't think so. But then again, he only paid $34,000 for this, right? Because it was used. He saved himself $6,000, $7,000 there. Who cares? It's got a few thousand miles on it. And of course, since it's got the hybrid, even though it's a 4-cylinder engine, it's got plenty of pickup because there's instant acceleration with electric motors. The torque is 100% as soon as you turn the motor on. The thing that the owner loves is he's never touched the electric parking brake, because as soon as you put it in park, it automatically turns it on. Then when you put it out of park and reverse or drive, it automatically turns off, so he doesn't even have to think about it. We'll just hope that Toyota makes electric parking brakes like they make the rest of their cars, ones that don't break. Because when electric parking brakes break, they cost a lot of money to fix. And if you live in a northern area where they put a lot of salt on the road, guess what? It messes with the electronic parking brakes. Any fool can tell you that. Electric brakes with salt water splashing on them, they cost a lot of money. Where the old brakes, hey, they're internal. They expand in and out inside. They don't have the salt problem. But hey, Toyota makes pretty good stuff, and I haven't seen any particular problems with them yet. But all the cars I work on are here in Tennessee, where they use salt maybe 3 times a year. He did get an extended warranty because he likes simply things. This is a hybrid, it's not simple. And he found out that if these display units start to go out, it can cost up to $5,000 to replace them. So he did get an extended warranty for that. Now, as for the battery, it comes with a 150,000 mile warranty, the big hybrid battery, and this is a bigger hybrid battery than most because it's got a battery that allows you to go a little electric range. Now, that's one of the reasons that the SUV version of the Crown costs so much more, because it has an even bigger hybrid battery and it can go 56 miles on the highway on electricity alone. This one can't, and this one only goes up to 25 miles an hour on a hybrid battery alone. You're buying it as a hybrid car that's got a lot of acceleration, fun to drive, gets good gas mileage. You're not just driving on electricity, which you want to try an electric car, go ahead and get a Crown SUV. It can go up to 56 miles on electricity alone. You could play with the idea. Now you know what you get with a brand new Toyota Crown. Maybe you'd be totally happy with the setup. Maybe you would want the SUV, play around with driving at 56 miles in an electric car. Or maybe you're a cheapskate like me and you'd spend 10 to 14 grand less and get a Camry that's relatively similar to this. Not as luxurious by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, $12,000 is a lot of money. And you know me, I'm never gonna buy a new one anyway. Hey, maybe I'll get a used one day. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.